Good morning. It's very, very early. I don't know if anybody will join this stream. If not, that's cool. We're just going to hang out. Today we're looking at some 3DO games. I have my Panasonic FZ10 model 3DO fired up over here, and we're just going to check it out. Running this on S video, going into my Elgato through the RetroTink 2X Pro. This is a game that I actually just discovered not very long ago. It's an RPG. There's a couple of sort of classic style RPGs on the 3DO. One of them I've known about for a long time, called Lucian's Quest. I played it a little bit a long time ago. We might check it out in just a second. This is one that I didn't know about. I think this one is available on the Saturn, maybe? Like a remade version of this? I'm not sure. Lucian's Quest is another one that's also, like I said, on the 3DO, and I think it's also available on Saturn. But if you're looking for an RPG and you have a 3DO, and, you know, Guardian War I think is the best one on here. The graphics are kind of simplistic. They're kind of funky, but it's actually not too bad. I had some fun playing this. I'm gonna jump in here. I just have barely started to play it at all.
Arise! This world is at the point of great crisis.
Turn the volume up for it up just a little bit so you can hear it.
Golem, guardians of Power's kingdom, use my strength. Your peaceful followers sleeping in their shrines all over the world have been prevented from waking. Awaken them and help crush the evil Azrael.
Yeah, graphics are kind of weird. They did that like pre-rendered kind of thing that was popular at this time period, and it's sort of really simplistic pre-rendered. So, but it's okay. So yeah, you can walk through the map and go to these different areas. This first one you want to go to for sure if you're going to play this, because this is where you're going to get your first buddy, and you definitely want to have a buddy with you as you're going through here. And that is your magician character, your healer, and all that. Your main character will be like your warrior. This is your backup.
Well done.
Kind of important.
Revive your followers like this.
Alright, so now we can move on. We'll go to the first area here. "16 enemies here." Okay, so you've got a map. It's very simplistic looking. You can see that map up there. There's a little bit, yeah, you see what I'm talking about. It's very simplistic, but it's a pretty effective way to do a map. It's not too bad. Alright, so I've got There's my main guy, and there's my secondary character. I only have 2 characters so far. You see their hit points and magic points. Okay. You save your game. Okay. So we want to try to get to where the bad guys are at. Let's kind of go by the map here. There's the bad guys up there.
Danger! Danger!
Here we go. They're going to attack me first. Alright, no problem. Attack him. Go to secondary character. We're going to heal the other character who just got hit. Move him up just a little bit. We will move him up. And I'm going to use this Holy Light. He actually has this attack that he can do. So we'll use that on this guy. Taste the rainbow. Okay, so there you go. Okay. Alright, now we're moving again.
Danger! Danger! Behold, your...
And that's kind of what you do in this game, you know. You can see how it is. I mean, the graphics are not too bad. For, you know, this is before, you gotta remember, this is before the PlayStation came out. This is a system that was competing with the 32X and the Jaguar, the Atari Jaguar. So, considering that, I think this is pretty impressive, you know. RPGs up to this point had been, you know, Super Nintendo, and there are some absolutely beautiful RPGs on the Super Nintendo, don't get me wrong, but not too many of them could do graphics that looked quite like this, with all the effects and everything going on here. So it was pretty impressive for when it came out. But it wasn't going to be too much longer before the Saturn was out. I think the Saturn came out the year after this RPG came out. So that's going to be a lot more powerful console than this. And a lot of good RPGs on the Saturn.
Danger! Danger!
Still, I think if you're looking for an RPG experience and you want to play it on the 3DO, this is probably what you want to go with, this right here. Lucian's Quest is pretty good too, but this is a lot, I don't know, I think this game moves a lot quicker.
Behold your new power. Behold your new power.
Anyway, I think you get the gist of this. We can see if we can check out Lucian's Quest real quick. Let me just see here. Okay. Let's get Lucian's Quest going. Uno momento. If you happen to be watching, please say hi. You don't have to talk too much if you don't want to. If you'd rather lurk, you can just lurk. That's cool. I don't care. It's cool. But, you know, it's always good to chit-chat a little bit. All right. There are some other games that have like RPG type elements to them, but they're not really what I would consider RPGs. We'll check out some of those as well, because I think they're pretty cool. There's some various different types, from full motion games to sort of 3D type Doom type games, stuff like that. Kind of interesting. And Guardian War was really good. I like it a lot, but and I think it is probably the snappier of the RPGs, of these two RPGs. But I think Lucian's Quest wins for style. It looks better, and it's more like a, I don't know, more like what you would consider a traditional JRPG. I have not played this. I believe this is on the Saturn as well, and I have not played it on Saturn. I'm sure it will run better on Saturn. Far, far away among the mountains, there was a tower called Pinnacoolchick, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce that. Look, polygons. In the tower lives the great sorcerer, Kokindo, and his apprentice. A 15-year-old girl by the name of Lucian. I mean, graphics are pretty good, right? Animation is a little choppy. And this is very late in the lifespan of the 3DO. Because, of course, 95 was the big year, you know. Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation hit the United States. I don't think I already have a game saved. No, I don't. It definitely makes you understand, though, that the 3DO had some capability. It was not an inept console. It actually had quite a bit of power for its time period. This is the famous tower of Pinnacoolchick, home of the great sorcerer Kokindo. I hope he can find a cure for my curse. I must gather my courage and knock on his door. Knock, knock, knocking on Kokindo's door. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hello, this is the sorcerer. Is the sorcerer Kokindo home? Is he home? I've been knocking on Kokindo's door. Sorry. Terrible singing. My bad. Who's there? Oh. Who are you? I'm Lucian. Who are you? What are you looking for? I am Ego. I've been told that the great sorcerer Kokindo lives here. Is it possible to see him? My master is gone. What? What did you say? What's going on? It can't be. Hum. Lucian, I must leave town for an errand. I will be gone for a short while to get a pack of cigarettes and milk. I hesitate to leave you, a young girl, in charge of the tower, but I have no choice. Yes, master. You can depend on me. Come high, water, or heck. Okay. Okay. You mean come hell or high water? Oh, he called her out on it, huh? Oh, yes, whatever. Coquindo takes a deep breath and sighs. So long, Lucian. The stars tell me while I'm gone, a visitor will appear who will cause a great change in your life. The outcome cannot yet be determined. Either way, you must follow your heart. Yes, follow my heart? It means don't let your fears stop you. I understand? Master shakes his head. Now, I must leave. Have a safe journey, Master. Oh, that's her saying it, so. And then poof, he disappears. As a wizard would, as one does when one is a wizard. That's the story of my master's departure. Sob. Oh, it's very sad. The curse will be with us forever. What is this curse? This is a tale of our sad plight. Since the Junin Beastman raided our village, we suffered their curse. We turned into wolfmen as soon as the sun sets. There are other villages and towns raided by the Junin too. I visited many doctors, but they all failed to cure us. I then heard of the great Coquindo, and I came all the way here to see him. But he's gone. This was my last hope. Aha! This sounds exciting. Excuse me? I was just talking to myself. Hey, I've got an idea. I will consult the crystal ball for you. You? But she is Coquindo's apprentice. Maybe I can trust her. Now I will weave a spell to read the crystal ball. Is she for real? But she is my last resort. Hubbly bubbly boo. Hubbly bubbly boo. Waiting. Wait for it. This is a strange game, isn't it? Excuse me, but... Quiet, I'm concentrating. I'm contacting the spiritual plane. It's flying in the sky right now above us. You just can't see it. Woo, Ego. The cure awaits you in the village of Morado, past the village of Babachap. The Junin will have the cure. What? I've traveled this far and still have to go to Morado? Ah, he's falling for it. Hey, I'm bored anyhow. I'll go with him. Spirits, is there any more? Woo! What's happening? You must take the apprentice Lucian with you. What? But she's just a girl. You must take her with you. Okay. Good. You must heed these instructions. Yes. Whoa. Now, we must gather our supplies from the first floor of the tower. What's going on? Ego thinks something is not quite on the level. Yeah, no kidding. You must take her with you. You shall not pass. Okay. I'll take her with me. Ah. This game is goofy, isn't it? This is how Lucian and Ego prepare for their trip. Lucian is excited by the idea of the adventure. However, she is unaware of the many dangers that are waiting. She sounds kind of like a... I don't know. What's the word? High-speed camera? Camera view? I'm pressing the the right shoulder button. Interesting. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Huh. Okay. Cycle through different camera settings. Oh, look at this. See how it does like that? R2. Fix camera position. Maybe that's for like battles and stuff. I don't know. There's our characters. Lucian, or as I like to call her, Lair. Pants on fire. And there's... what's his face? He doesn't look anything like this graphic. Anyway. You can sometimes find a talisman in the treasure box in the dungeons. This talisman is kept in Solomon's pot. When you use it by selecting it during battle, its power will attack your enemies instead of consuming your own magic points. You can use it as many times as you want as long as you have magic points. And you don't have to be a magician to use it. Oh, thank you. I didn't want to talk to you again. Alright. A strange game. I mean, it's not that strange. It's just unusual. Especially for a 3DO game. You know, most 3DO games are not like this. Most 3DO games are like full motion games or like PC, different kinds of PC ports from that time period. Oh, I keep talking to this guy. I think I can do anything to any of this. Oh, look, I switched to my... You cannot destroy it until your destruction power becomes 4. Oh, okay. Okay, I see. Behind this door, we can find money and items we need for the journey. Master said I can use them in an emergency. Well, let's get some. Oh, what do we got here? 100 gold. Oh, yeah. Leather boot. Just one boot? Ah, there we go. Cool. Nothing there? Okay, equipment. Leg, leather boot. Okay, well, we got a boot. We got one boot. That's good. It's better, better than nothing, I guess. I'm not going to play this too long. I just want to show you a little bit about it. This is Lucian's quest. I mean, graphically, this is actually, I think, pretty damn impressive for the 3DO. We got clouds with transparency and shadows. Oh, here we go. Time for a battle. Okay. Select the destination. Let's see. Attack that ogre. Oh, okay. Ouch. There we go. Oop, she missed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. See if we can escape. Nope. See if I can use the... I don't know if it'll let me use this on him. Oh, well, that didn't work. Let's try the fireballs. That's pretty cool looking. She can do magic. Okay. Let's see if we can heal our boy. There we go. Alright. Alright, so he's healed. Let's figure out how to get out of here. How do we get out of here? This way? Yeah, there we go. Oh, looks like wolf. Couple of wolves. Ouch. Dang it. I need to get that wolf, but I can't get to him. Let's try the fireballs again. We'll do power 2. killed the hell out of that tree. Oh no, she's down. Crap. Run away! Run away! Well, I don't know if I can heal her. Oh, she's got 1 hit point. It's funny how they do that on some of these games. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Oh boy, more wolves. Kill that wolf. Hell yeah. What's up, Quizzicoatl? How you doing, man? And Albert, I didn't even see you here. Sorry. What's going on, guys? This game is called Lucian's Quest. This is on the 3DO. Had my wisdom tooth removed, so hit YouTube, saw Cyrus streaming, didn't know he would go old school. Oh yeah, I do tons of, I love old school JRPGs. Streaming them or doing them, you know, doing videos about them is kind of problematic though, because they're very involved and you end up making nothing but videos about just JRPGs when you start doing that. So I have to be careful about how much of this I do. Today we're kind of just looking at different 3DO games. This is on the 3DO if I didn't mention that already. So looking at some information about Lucian's Quest in case you're curious about it. I'm going to read this straight from the wiki article about it. Lucian's Quest is a role-playing video game developed by Micro Cabin for the 3DO. It is the sole traditional Japanese role-playing game released for the system. That's not true because Guardian War was another one, although this is definitely much more of a JRPG than Guardian War, but they're in the same type of ballpark. This was released also on the Sega Saturn in Japan. I don't know if it was released in the United States on the Saturn. Maybe not. There might be a translation though, so I'll have to check for that. So yeah, Lucian's Quest. Cyrus, you heard Star Ocean 6 is coming this month to PS4 and PS5. Yeah, I actually did buy another Star Ocean game on my Nintendo Switch. I need to try it out. I haven't even played it yet. It's more of it's not one of the newer ones. Well, it is newer, but it's like it's not polygonal. It's like it's more traditional looking graphics. Not sure what the name of it is. I have to play it. I haven't even played it yet. I have seen the newer one. I don't know what I think about it. I looked at some videos on the new one that's coming out, so I'll have to look more into it because I wasn't sure about it. It looked kind of strange to me, but it is Star Ocean, so yeah, that's gonna happen. So now I forgot. So he turns into a werewolf at night. That's interesting. Forgot my guy has this curse. It was released here, Cyrus. Oh, okay. Cool. Star Ocean. Yeah, First Departure. Yeah, that's the one I got. I gotta try it. I haven't even played it yet. So I definitely gotta do that. Colony, East Babachop. Well, east is where I need to go. Cross the bridge, over the river, through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. Yeah, apparently all the people from this dude's village have this curse, and so he went to this sorcerer's castle to try to get healed, but the sorcerer is away, and the only person there was this girl, and she's his apprentice, but she doesn't really know what she's doing. She's kind of full of crap, and she's like told this guy this whole song and dance about, oh, you've got to take her with you on your quest and then you'll be healed and all this kind of stuff. So she's doing some BS. Some shenanigans are afoot. It's, you know, silly JRPG stuff. Take that, tree. Man, I don't know if I can fight 3 of these. Let's try some magic. Fire! Goodness gracious. This is on a 3DO eating paste. How you doing, man? Oh, not enough for that. Okay. All right. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we didn't make it. There was too many wolves. So sad. Our quest, Lucian's quest, comes to an end too soon. Too soon. Where? Alright, well, we were just kind of checking it out anyway. No big deal. Luke's awakening. Good morning, Luke. You have awoken. Okay. Oh, come on. That's interesting. You can just rest. Game over, man. Yes. It's not too bad, though. I liked it. Let me check up on the chat real quick. Catch up there. And I'll let this play for just a second while I'm doing that. Okay. Wow, I'm real far behind, as usual. Star Ocean 1 remake for Vita or PSP. Oh, it's a remake of that? Or, I don't know, maybe I'm not understanding. Du-du-du-du-du. Looks like a media cabin game. Okay. Mario's animated movie will be released in 10 hours. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for that. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Guardian Wars. Yeah, Guardian Wars is pretty, not too bad. It's kind of simplistic graphics and everything, but it was actually pretty fun. You're dressing as Luigi for work? Oh. Alright. Was that your favorite gaming era, Cyrus? The 90s? Yeah, definitely. You know, my favorite systems are the 16-bit systems. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and of course the TurboGrafx 16 PC Engine. That's my favorite. But, you know, I really enjoyed the later release NES games, and I really enjoyed the 32-bit era. I just love gaming in general anyway. The Atari Jaguar and the 3DO and the 32X are those weird systems that are just a little too primitive, you know? The graphics are kind of not quite where they need to be. The gameplay, they haven't really figured out what they're supposed to do. They're kind of stumbling around in the darkness trying to figure out how to make 32-bit games and 64-bit games and, you know, just that next gen of polygonal graphics. They really don't understand what they're doing. There's some good games in that mix, but there's a lot of weird stuff too. When you get into the PlayStation and the Saturn and the N64, things are evolving, you know. Obviously that's still a period where they're trying to get their footing and figure out how to make those games, but that's where they, I think, really do figure it out, because when you finally get to the next gen, the PlayStation 2s and the GameCubes and the Xboxes, by that point I think they really got a handle on it. The controllers and everything had to evolve, you know. It was a whole process, but there's some great stuff to be experienced in all of these eras. For show. Quizzical says SNES and PS1 definitely was some of the best gaming moments. If you're talking about like RPGs, like JRPGs especially, Super Nintendo and Sony PlayStation and Sega Saturn, fantastic stuff. There's a few good RPGs on the Genesis, and there's some really good ones on the PC Engine, TurboGrafx, but I think the best RPGs from that era is Super Nintendo and PlayStation and Saturn, right? But probably if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Super Nintendo, because there's just a ton of really, really great JRPGs on the Super Nintendo. Albert, thanks for coming, dude. Appreciate it, man. Quizzical, I don't blame you. Personally, my favorite was PS1 N64 era because exploring through graphics was so mind-blowing. Oh, yeah. N64 was fascinating because, you know, it was the first system where they really, I mean, it had analog from day one. You know, it had, every game had analog. Not necessarily every game really took advantage of that, but there was a lot of breakthroughs that happened on the N64 for sure. Graphically, it was doing some stuff that wasn't possible before that. And it was cartridges too, so that was really awesome. Let's see here. Not saying N64 and all PS1 games hold up very well today and are timeless, but Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy Tactics, oh yes. There are some bangers in that era, for sure. Luke says, I'm dressing as Daisy for work, but I'm going to look how she did at the end of the movie. Okay. Are you guys dressing up because the Mario movie's coming out? Are you cosplaying? I don't know what's going on. Eating Paces 8 through 32-bit was the golden age of gaming for me for sure. Yeah. Dude. Yes. So I like... Look, I know most people are not going to be fans of like anything before the NES, right? I think the NES and the Master System, that's like the baseline as far back as people will go. And anything before that, it's tough for people. I understand, because you didn't grow up with it. And if you didn't grow up with it, or even if you did grow up with it, you might not be into it. It's just tough. But of course, I am that weird guy, so I love your Ataris and your, Intellivision and stuff like that. But I'm not going to say that those are in the same league as like the NES and the Master System. And then of course that from there you go on and things just get better and better. But, yeah, no. Once you got into the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox and the GameCube era, things really, I think that was really the beginning of modern graphics, the modern gameplay and modern graphics, because all of those consoles had dual analog capability from day one, and all of the modern features, rumble and all that kind of stuff. And the graphics were all pretty much comparable, right? And detailed, polygonal, texture mapped, stuff like that. And all of those graphics translate into a little bit higher fidelity, better graphics, better resolution, incremental type upgrades that move up from there. But I think that era is sort of the beginning of modern gaming. And then before that, PlayStation, Saturn, Nintendo 64 is the end probably of what I think is probably really the retro era. What we would really think of, at least people in my generation, maybe just me, I don't know. Think of just me, like that's sort of the end of the old, and then the other is the beginning of the new. But I don't know, maybe these are kind of arbitrary lines that we're sort of drawing here. I don't know, because the games are all great. I don't know. 90s had the best gaming moments. So many awesome games, man. Eating Paces. Also, games change for the shorter experiences to the longer, more modern games on the PS2. Yeah, absolutely. Albert says, my gaming channel will be called CDI Gamer. Dude, that would be funny. That would be hilarious. Never played a CDI. That is one console I've never played. I played something similar to that at a Radio Shack, but I thought it was the CDI, but as it turns out, it wasn't the CDI. It was this Radio Shack console that was basically the same thing as a CDI, but it was something else. So I've never played an actual CDI. But I have used a VCR, and a CDI is very similar. Oh, are you sick or something, Quetzalcoatl? I just saw Albert saying speedy recovery. I hope you're doing all right. Yeah, take care, Albert. Yeah, it's fine to dress up, but don't celebrate the movie with mushrooms. Uh-oh, that could be a whole different kind of experience. Mm-hmm. Anyways, yeah, I struggle with the vintage era. Yeah. Vintage era. That's a good way to describe that. The vintage era. Luke says the 6th generation started the best era of 3D gaming. I get the numbers of what era is called what mixed up. I can't ever remember what they're called. Quetzalcoatl, yeah, I agree with the PS2 GameCube era is the modern era of gaming. At this point, the developers knew how to handle 3D graphics and building worlds for it, and every game used joystick. Yeah. I think that's probably accurate. I think that fits. In paste, retro cuts off on the Dreamcast. Ooh, that's an interesting thing to think about. The Dreamcast. Dreamcast is sort of that last, it like rides that line between those eras, doesn't it? Because it's got a whole lot of the stuff that the PS2 and all those have, but it's still got some of that leftover flavor from the N64 and PlayStation and Saturn. Very interesting. Yeah. N64 and PS1 was more about experimenting. Heck, PS1 didn't even come with a joystick until later models of controllers. They had D-pads for 3D worlds. Yeah. It was pretty wild. I was so used to that controller, because we used it for a couple of years before we got the DualShock. The N64 controller was the big revolution. I had that, and then I got the Saturn analog, and then the DualShock came along. And honestly, when the DualShock came along, I kind of thought it was a gimmick because it had 2 analog sticks, and I was like, why do you need 2 analog sticks? I didn't get it. I did not get it at all. I thought it was just kind of like, oh, Sony's got to put 2 analog sticks, whatever. And to be fair, a lot of those first games that used analog on the PlayStation, they really didn't use both sticks. They really just used one. It was a learning process, for the developers and for us. So this is an interesting transition. PS2 marks the beginning of the modern era. I believe that. It's hard to define what retro is. Introduced the internet, games for 2000, 2 consoles ago. I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to say. It is tough to say. Luke says, I think anything 20 years and older is retro. I mean, I think that's probably a pretty good way to look at that. There's different ways different people could look at that. All right, I'm going to put a different game in. We've been looking at Lucian's Quest. Before that, we were doing Guardian War. There's other kind of RPGs as well that are not like JRPGs. Some games that have sort of RPG elements that are not really strictly RPGs. I'm going to check out another one of those. I've been going a little wild burning 3DO games. Six is the GameCube, PS2, Xbox, Dreamcast. Okay, I got you. So you consider the Dreamcast part of that era. I think that I do too. It's tough because, like I said, it's kind of straddling that fence. But I think I have to agree with that. Anyways, the Dreamcast was the last console that tried to bring the arcade home, which was the spirit of most of the retro consoles. That's a good point. That's a really good point. It definitely did try to do that. Quetzalcoatl says, what is the best controller according to you guys? I think it's the PS2 DualShock. The best controller. The best controller ever made? Or are you talking about for retro stuff? See, I don't think there's one controller that's the best controller. Because if you're talking about for like 2D fighting games, then the Sega Saturn controller with the D-pad, the second one that they brought out in the United States, the Model 2 controller, which was just the Model 1 in Japan. They never got that weird crappy one that we got for the Saturn. I think that's the best one for 2D fighting games. The button layout and the D-pad is just amazing on that controller. However, that's not the best controller overall. If you're talking about for like more modern experiences where you need two sticks, then that's tough because it comes down to how do you prefer the stick layout, right? And what do you think about the buttons and everything? Because some people will swear by the Xbox layout, you know, with the one stick that's higher up than the other stick. And some people really prefer that symmetrical layout that the PlayStation 2, PlayStation DualShock, and all those have. And of those, it's interesting you say the PlayStation 2 controller. I don't know, man. I like the PS2 and the PS3 controller, the DualShock 3. I really like the DualShock 3 quite a bit. I like the PS4 controller. The PS5 controller is really nice too. But the PS5 controller is a little bulky. I'm not a real big fan of the D-pad, any of the D-pads on the Xbox controllers. I'm just not, it's not good. But I do like using a 360 controller if I'm using the analogs. So it's tough for me to really say what I think is the best one, because they all have something good and they all have something I think could use some improvement. I don't know. I don't like the GameCube controller. I have to I mean, I don't hate it, but I think the GameCube controller is my least favorite of all of those, just because it's kind of an oddball, you know? The buttons are kind of weird and that one stick is kind of strange. So that'd probably be my least favorite. Quizzical says, for me, DualShock Sony 1 felt like a continuation of the Super Nintendo controller. In a lot of ways, I agree with you. I think that's a good point. Luke, one controller to rule them all? Yeah, I don't know. Luke says the layout of the Xbox 360, the modern Xbox controllers, the best, but I like the buttons on the PS controller the best. Yeah. What would it be like if we could combine the best features on the one controller? The Sega Saturn Pan is my favorite of all Capcom fighting games. Yeah, it is really good for fighting games, especially. Quizzical, I bought a GameCube controller for my Switch to play Smash, Mario Sunshine. You know, I get it. I mean, if you're wanting to have sort of an authentic experience, it makes sense to do that. I don't hate the controller. I just would say it's probably my least favorite of those. I like the PS5 pad. It's pretty good. It's just a little bit bulky, I think. My only problem with the PS5 DualShock on one is how the buttons turn glossy. That is kind of weird, isn't it? I don't know. I don't know why they're like that. Can't button mash the same with them. They don't feel as they're, you know what I would say, and I'm just going by memory because I don't have a PS5 at the moment, although I am getting another one, thank God. Finally, I'm getting another PS5. I used to have one a couple years ago, and from memory, I will say I think the travel distance on the buttons on the PS5 controller is a little bit less. They're a little shallower than the other PlayStation controllers, if I remember correctly. And that was something that I also would say is not that great. But I think we're kind of nitpicking probably because it's really good controller. But maybe there's a slight difference there. Any pace the D-pad sucks on the GameCube Pad 2. GameCube Pad is so awkward for anything that isn't Smash. Well, yeah. I know, you're right. There's a lot of people that really do swear by it and they love it to death. But me personally, I don't know. Like, it's just kind of weird. I like it for a few games just because I'm so used to using it with that controller. Like F-Zero, for example, on the GameCube. I really like having that controller for F-Zero. But yeah, Mario Sunshine. But yeah, it is just kind of weird. Luke says, Sai is going to be a hoity-toity PS5 owner soon. He'll grace us little folks with his presence. I will never be hoity-toity, sir. I will never be hoity. Maybe hoity, but not hoity-toity. Come on. Maybe a little hoity. Maybe. Maybe. So I've been burning these games like crazy, just discovering different 3DO games I never heard of. I already had quite a few of these, but there's some that I, like this is one right here that I never played until recently. But there's some pretty good games. It's a game called Flying Nightmares, and it's like a game where you're in like aircraft, you know, like jets and stuff. It's like a jet fighter game. I didn't even know they had one like that on the 3DO. Killing Time is another first-person shooter game. It's pretty interesting. Nova Storm. I don't know why I played Nova Storm on other things, but I never played it on here. It's pretty cool. It's like one of those games with the full motion backgrounds, and then you're like fighting in front of it. It's pretty cool, pretty good actually. It's not too bad. Like an on-rail shooter kind of thing. Is this one of the 3DO porn games? No, sir. I don't have any of the I don't have any of those. The only one close to that I have is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. That's because I was being constantly harassed by Jan Ong to burn that and play that on a stream a couple years ago. I don't know what happened to him. He doesn't bother me anymore, but he used to. So you can like create your character on here or just choose characters. They have all these different like pre-made characters. Or you can, like I said, come up with your own character. Yeah. Anypay says, have you played The Horde? It's pretty fun. It's like a city defender where you build up defenses against waves of monsters. You know what? I actually I downloaded it. I just have not burned that one yet. I wanted to. You know what? When I was see the cool for me, I have this funny relationship with the 3DO because when the 3DO came out, I was working at the electronics department at Walmart, and we would get in all this 3DO stuff, and I was always looking at it, but I could never afford 3DO. There's no way. It was just too ridiculously expensive. But I remember looking at the 3DO games quite a bit, and they had all these games that were on 3DO and they were also on PC. And I remember looking at the box for the Horde many, many times thinking, oh man, because there's a bunch of games like that. That's why I love the 3DO so much. Thank you, John. Thank you, Retro Bro, my buddy John, who he got a 3DO and he talked to me about it quite a bit and got me really interested in getting a 3DO. Thank you. I have to thank him every time I do anything with 3DO, because I didn't even remember how much I wanted to play these games until I started talking to him about it and realized, oh my God, there's all these games that I used to see, and I didn't really have a good PC at the time. I had an okay PC, but it couldn't do games as well as the 3DO could do. 3DO has like some great games that were PC games, right? So the 3DO is kind of like a PC from that era, you know, like a nice PC, because it'll play all these PC games, but they're like streamlined for the controller, and you don't have to worry about what your settings are, or do you have a more powerful enough computer to run them or anything. So anyway, yeah, 3DO is really cool, and the Horde is a game I want to play. I have not played it yet. So this is an interesting game. I wish to God I would have been able to play this back in the day, because this is ridiculously cool. Like, this is the kind of game that I really wanted to play, you know, on a next-gen system back then. And I think the first game that I got to play that was like this, it wasn't until PlayStation came along and I played King's Field. Because the Jaguar never got nothing like this. The closest thing to this on the Jaguar, I guess, would be Alien vs. Predator, which is not really like this. This is like an RPG, you know. But yeah, I really wish I could have had an opportunity to play this back in the day. I remember when they were promoting the Jaguar CD, when it was getting worked on, there was a game that they had showed that looked a lot like this, that I thought looked just super cool, and I don't think it ever even came out. Honestly, I don't know, because I never had a Jaguar CD, but anyway. Just kind of stumbling around here, walking around. See if I can find somebody to fight. I saw that one guy earlier, but I didn't want to fight him because he looked like he was... Oh, here we go. I can fight these guys. Look at these mushroom dudes. Oh, he got me. Damn it. I'm super weak in this game. I forgot. Crap. Well, that's not good. Alright, we'll try a different character. Alright, sorry guys, I got behind on the chat again. Jan harasses everyone, yeah. The 3DO did have a lot of PC ports. Oh, dude, yeah. That's some really good ones. You know, they're not just PC ports, they're actually really good PC ports, you know? As a PS5 owner, I love it, but I can't recommend it. Every big title like God of War, Gran Turismo 8, Horizon were also on PS4, but if you have the money, play as a 4K. Well, I am getting a new PS5. I'm not, my brother's getting it for me. I got one of those emails, the original PS5 that I used to own that I ended up having to sell a while back. I had bought that from Sony directly, and I got another email from Sony for another opportunity to buy another PS5, and I told my brother about it, and he's like, I'm gonna buy it for you. And I was like, dude, I can't do this. And he was like, no, I'm buying you a PS5. I've been trying to get you one ever since you sold your other one, because I want you to have one. I want to play games with you and all this kind of stuff. So my brother bought me a PS5, so hopefully I'll have it next week. It's crazy. Luke says, but wouldn't those games also run in 4K 60 on the PS4 Pro? I had a PS4 Pro for a while. It was pretty good. Wasn't that much better than a regular PS4 though. PS5 is way better. Quetzalcoatl, there is some cool games in development for PS5. Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, Rise of Ronin. Yeah, I've seen some. I have been kind of out of the loop on PS5 because I just didn't think I was going to be able to get another one for a long time. And this just happened yesterday where I was able to, get a new PS5 ordered. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I got to catch up on a lot of stuff with the games and stuff. PS4 Pro can't run the games or load them as fast as PS5. Yeah, I had a Pro. It was okay, but it was definitely not nearly as good as the PS5. This game looks like it would be fun after 20 hours of figuring out how to play it. That's the problem, yeah, with a lot of these games too, is you gotta spend a lot of time figuring out how to play them. I'll put something else on while I'm reading the chat. Let's find something else to put on. 3DO is an interesting system. This model, the FZ10, this is the top loading one. It has this switch on the side of it, like an old PC has, like a power, you like flip the switch. And that's the only way to turn it off and on. You actually, there's not like a reset or anything. You just turn it off and turn it back on. It's pretty weird. All right, here's another game. This one's called Killing Time, the first-person game. It's pretty weird, but it's cool. As soon as you put the top down on this console, it just starts to load the game. So you don't have to do anything. You don't press start or nothing. It just starts loading. It's pretty crazy. This console loads really fast. John has the FC1 model and I have the FC10, and mine loads way faster than his. I don't know what the deal is with that. Maybe it's just
alone.
a better made, a later release system. I don't know.
Northern Africa in the 1930s, and his search for a mystical water clock.
Turn the volume down on that just a little bit while I'm talking here.
Had powers to grant everlasting life. Claimed he found it once.
Okay,
mysteriously disappeared after a visit by the expedition's patron.
Devil May Cry 5 and 902, you can even run the games at 100 frames per second. Oh wow, I did not know that. If your monitor TV supports it, that is crazy for console gaming. Yeah, it's pretty cool. PS5 is not bad. It is not bad. Luke says, I wasn't sure on that, just assumed they would. All I have is the Slim. I knew speed-wise they wouldn't load as fast, but I assume the Pro should run them at 60 frames too. Well, when I had a Pro, there were some games that were enhanced for the Pro. And then there's some games that had like an unlocked frame rate, so they would run better if you had a Pro. But there's a lot of games. It was kind of surprising. There was a lot of games that you got absolutely no benefit from having a Pro. They ran exactly the same on the Pro as they ran on the regular PS4. That was the biggest disappointment to me. But the ones that had something, yeah, there was generally what you got was 60 frames per second at 1080p sometimes, or you would get 4K 30-ish. What is it they like to say? Targeted, like 30 targeted, but it was kind of it would kind of fluctuate. Because the PS4 Pro was more powerful, but not a whole lot more powerful than a regular PS4. So, you know, it had some benefits. It just didn't have as much benefits as it should have. You know, when the Xbox did the Xbox One X, that was a very significant upgrade, especially considering that the first gen Xbox One was underpowered as all hell. So when they did the Xbox One X, that was a serious upgrade. And I really enjoyed having an Xbox One X. It was really good. It was a lot more powerful than the PS4 Pro by quite a bit. All right, let's view the intro.
I'm off the rocky coast of Maine.
I think it already ran once, but we'll just let it run.
My Egyptology professor, Dr. Hargrove, was always recounting his trips to northern Africa in the 1930s.
PS5 has like twice the RAM and VRAM and super fast SSD, so it's more powerful inside. Also 8 cores at 3.5 gigahertz. Yeah, it's way, way better.
Mysteriously disappeared after
Your brother is going to get you one? That's ironic. My brother bought me the PS5 as well and bought himself one. That's interesting.
Conway's island estate. Tess was obsessed.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. I'm just kind of in shock that he's getting it for me because I was not expecting that.
The Conway estate hosted wild, extravagant.
I love the speed and performance of my Series X. Dude, I have heard nothing but fantastic things about the Series X. Everybody that I know that has one has said that it's, you know, really, really powerful. Yeah, I've heard that one's really good. I like the Xbox One X. I thought it was good too. So I'm sure the Series X is just phenomenal. That Series S is kind of a strange beast because technically speaking, like if you look at the stats for that system, you know, the specs and everything, the Xbox One X is better than the Series S. So I don't really, the Series S is kind of a weird conundrum. Like I actually, when it was coming out, I pre-ordered a Series S, and I canceled my pre-order because the more I read about it, the less enthusiastic I was. But the Series X is fantastic. Yeah, it's really good. Quetzalcoatl says Xbox X is slightly more powerful than PS5, but it all comes down to developers. You'll have PS5 exclusives that will look and play better. Yeah, I think that the PS5 and the Series X are pretty comparable. Once you're at that level, there's going to be some difference, but I mean, once you're, you know, once your hardware is at a certain point, it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's really about the games and the platform and the, you know, the ecosystem. You know, there's other things that are more important than the slight differences in power between those two. So there's a lot of other things to consider there. Okay, so this is interesting. Okay. Not sure how you adjust this stuff. Okay, there you go. All right. Anyway. Let's not forget the PS5 being backwards compatible to PS4. I guess I should bring up the chat. I didn't even think about it. Sorry, guys. I got distracted just playing these games. Hang on. Get my mouse to work. There we go. Sorry about that. Had that all set up and I never even brought it up. Let's not forget the PS5 being backwards compatible with PS4. You can play all your PS4 games as a PS4 Pro and PS5 games. So you can keep your PS4 library and expand for your PS5 as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool. What I like is that I can take my external hard drive out of my PS4 and just plug it straight into the PS5 and it just works. All my PS4 games just work. So that's pretty awesome. I can just run them all off the external hard drive. That super fast hard drive, I really want to try to keep that focused on PS5 stuff, because you're not really going to get too much benefit from the PS4 games using that hard drive. I'd kill a man for a Switch Pro with full backwards compatibility. Damn, dude. I'm enjoying my my Switch since I finally got another one. I've been having quite a bit of fun with it. Quetzalcoatl, that's what I love about PS5. I can combine my PS4 and PS5 library. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons that I really like my PS3, my original model fat PS3, because it covers so many bases, right? It does the PS1, PS2, and PS3, and then you combine that with a PS5 and it's like, damn, that's everything. I mean, except for like Vita and PSP and everything, but it's very nice to have that backwards compatibility. I wish the PS5 would just had full backwards compatibility with everything, but it is what it is. Switch 2, if the Switch 2 or whatever they call it is not backwards compatible, that's gonna suck. Fonz, what's up, Fonzarelli? How's it going, man? Long time no see. How you doing, Fonz? Series X and even S is great. Well, that's interesting because I really wasn't feeling too confident about the Series S, but the Series X, I think I've seen great things about. So that's interesting. You say that. So this is sort of a first-person game. It's kind of weird. Frame rate is a little bit low, but this is 3DO, so. Oh yeah, you got to watch these little clips. I forgot how they do this. There's all these ghosts all over the place.
Stay away from Tess. She's trouble. Real trouble. Duncan.
It's pretty crazy how they do this in this game.
Except Duncan ain't what he used to be.
I'll turn the volume up a little bit so you can hear it. Oh, there we go.
Help me, please. Gather my spiritual essence from the different symbols which lie around this island.
Series S has newer tech and it's actually better performing than the One X. Really? Oh, that's interesting. That's good to know. Luke says, I don't see the next Nintendo being like the Switch. Nintendo likes to change every console too much. That's a good point. They do like to change up quite a bit, so we'll definitely have to see what they end up doing. There we go. Strange textures on the walls in this.
I'm going to need you down at the dock tonight. We're expecting another shipment of arms.
Well, boss, where am I going to put all this stuff? I mean, the storage room is almost full. I can't even walk in there.
Guess you'll just have to stash it around the grounds.
Well, I don't like it. I mean, booze was one thing, but guns, I don't know.
Quit worrying, Mike. Our new associates from Chicago will be here this evening to take the guns off the island. They will pay us handsomely for the arms. If they have new contacts, we can expand. This is only the beginning.
I'm chewing. Sorry. I thought that was going to take a lot longer than it did. Sorry about that. Quizzicoatl, I totally agree with you. PS3 is amazing, especially if you have the backwards compatible model. I love my PS3. Come on, get in there. Yeah, this is a strange 3D game, you know? It's like, it's not really like Doom or anything. It's like its own kind of graphics, you know? It's strange looking. It's got that like photo, it's not photorealistic, but that photo looking texture stuff like they use in Alien vs. Predator on the Jaguar. It's like the same type of 3D type of thing going on. I haven't even run into an enemy yet. There's enemies coming though. They're up here. Sorry, I'm falling behind on chat again. Okay. That way. Look, it's a duck. Damn it. Ramblin' Man's gonna be really pissed at me if I kill this duck. Sorry I had the audio up too high there. Alright, duck. Sorry to do this. Ugh, that's gross. Poor duck. I barely knew him. Alright, let me catch up a little on the chat. Luke, thanks for hanging out with us. I appreciate it, man. I don't know if I agree with Luke. I think they struck gold with Switch being a hybrid console, and I think they will keep that going. I don't see Nintendo ever abandoning handheld support. Well, I don't know what to expect because it's Nintendo. I don't know. Switch is very, very successful, so I kind of feel like it would be, I think there would be a lot of uproar if they decided to not have backwards compatibility. So I don't know. I think the next Nintendo system is going to have similar functionality to the Switch, but maybe it'll be a little bit different too. I mean, it's going to be a little different no matter what, right? So I don't know. I don't think the PS3 ever got the respect it deserved. PS3 was a modern beast that also supported retro gaming. People didn't care at launch for some reason. Yeah, well, there didn't used to be such a thing as retro gaming, you know? I was talking with some people about this the other day, and I was like, you know, I used to be able to, when I was in college back in like 96, 97, I used to be able to go into pawn shops where I lived at. I went to college in Killeen, Texas, and they have like this big military base in Killeen, and they have the greatest pawn shops you've ever seen in your life. These pawn shops are not like regular pawn shops. These are like full, like, stores. You walk into a pawn shop there and it's like walking into Walmart, or, you know, just like they have everything you could imagine, like all kinds of stuff. I bought so much stuff at pawn shops there. It was amazing. But anyway, I used to go into these pawn shops and I would buy NES games because I was really into collecting NES cartridges back at that time, and nobody was collecting them. Like, I was buying stuff because I liked it, but nobody else gave a crap. None of my friends, nobody cared about NES games. So I went into these pawn shops And I would say, hey, do you have any Nintendo games, like old Nintendo cartridges? And they would, you know, they always had tons of stuff. And they would like pull out this big ass box, and I would go through them, and I would be like, I remember several times they would have a bunch, and they would say, we'll sell you all these for, you know, $50 or something, you know. So there was times I literally walked out with 15 games and spent like $50 and complete in box and everything, you know. I had some great stuff back in the day. I wish I wouldn't have had to sell the cartridges that I had, but yeah, there didn't used to be such a thing as retro. Like nobody that wasn't a word for video games. There was just good games and old crap games that nobody cared about. Old games. So, yeah, when the PlayStation 3 came out and it had backwards compatibility, because remember the PlayStation 2 also had backwards compatibility, and I think people cared about it more at that time because, you know, the PlayStation brand was still pretty new, and there was some trepidation about moving to the next era, and the PS2 had this DVD-ROM, and that was really cool and was selling everybody because people were like, oh, I need a DVD player anyway. But the fact that it also had backwards compatibility was also, there was just so much about that console that was like a no-brainer for people to buy. That's why so many people bought it. But like with the PS3, it was kind of like, are we really still playing PS1 games? You know, at that point, people were kind of like, you know, I don't know about this PS1 stuff. And people were ready to move past PS2 pretty quick, right? They were moving into PS3, and I guess that's why Sony made their decisions about backwards compatibility for the later models. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. What's up, John? Retro Bro in the house. What's going on, man? Yeah, I just started streaming in the middle of the night, playing 3DO stuff. John, the 3DO bro. Do you even 3DO, bro? He does, because he got me into this stuff. Anyway, eating pace, this looks crazy. Yeah, this is a crazy game. So I killed a duck. Oh, look, there's a duck hunter now. Die, duck man. F that duck. F, you know what I'm saying. Oh, now I got a shotgun. Hell yeah. Now we can really kill animals and people. Hell yeah. Yeah, I remember back when no one was buying the old games. Hell yeah. Good times, man. Used to pick up some really good deals on stuff. Damn you. Damn you to hell. Oh, shoot. I ran out of bullets. Crap. Okay, how do I switch weapons? Not that button. Not that button. There it is. I knew I'd figure it out. Ouch. These ducks, man. These ducks are crazy. What a weird game. It's called Killing Time. Oh, he's killing the hell out of me. Should call this game Dying Time. Just wasting so much ammo. Alright. Ooh. Alright. Back at it. Oh, crap. The damn duck got me. The duck of death. Oh, okay. Let's check out that one game I was telling you about earlier, Flying Nightmares. I never played it. I still haven't played it. I just checked to see if it was working. I just burned this because I'd never heard of this game. So we'll check it out together. Flying Nightmares. Yeah. Killing time. I don't know how good it is, John, but you might have fun with it. All right, let's play a little bit of this. We'll let this video run for a second. Shmups on my 3DO, it's more likely than you think. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't know if this is a shmup. Shoot 'em ups. Do you consider first person shooters to be shoot 'em ups? Because I always think of like the other kind of shoot 'em ups when I think of shooters. Like there are some shmups that I would consider what I think of usually when I think of a shmup, but they're more like on rails shooters, you know, like Nova Storm or Siberia, or what you were talking about earlier, the Horde. There's a really cool isometric strategy game called Battle Blues. You might check that out too. Battle Blues is pretty cool. I keep discovering these games. There's games that are on the 3DO that I never heard of. Oh, Starblade is on here. That's another on-rails shoot 'em up. Star Wars Rebel Assault. All right, let's see what this looks like. Let's play it. Combat Arcade Training. Let's see what arcade is. I have never played this. Air to air, air to ground. All right, it's loading. Yeah, this is like a flight game. This is like a full-on like flight game. I don't know how to play it though. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do anything. I don't know what to do. Okay, let me see if I can go back to the start and see if I can figure out what the buttons are. Take off. It's loading again. This is invigorating, yes. Okay, am I actually going to get training? No, it's just going to put me back here where I didn't know what I was doing in the first place. What the hell am I supposed to do? I wonder if this is a game that I have to have a flight stick to play. Like, I'm hitting every possible combination of button that you can imagine, and the only thing I can do is I can make that change and that change. That's all I can do. Nothing else does anything. Wow. Okay. It's only a fighter jet. You don't need training. Good. Fair point. Fair point. I don't know. I don't know how you play this. You click joystick, it does nothing. So clearly, clearly I'm supposed to have like an actual joystick to play this game. All right, I'll have to read about it. Maybe there's a way I can play it and I just don't know. Well, that's what happens when you fire up a game you never played before. Okay, I was going to show you Battle Blues. This is a pretty cool strategy game. This one actually works. The game that I was just looking at is called Flying Nightmares, and so far it has been a nightmare, but there wasn't any actually flying going on. False advertising. Any pace, I wonder if this was a pack-in game for the stick. Yeah, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what it is. Like, you're supposed to have the stick because you got the stick with the game or something like that. That would make sense. A lot of Terminator feelings going on here. I always think it's funny when you see a game that was set in the future back when it was made, or a movie that was set in the future and we're already way past that date. I always think it's funny. Loading. There we go. Ooh, it's having a little trouble loading. That's not good. This disk might be dirty. Check it real quick. Yeah, it is. All right. What is this link you've provided? Oh, Flying Nightmares 3DO. To take off, press up and L. While the appeared inscription does not appear, you can not take off. Therefore, press R and B. Okay, well, we'll have to try that in a second. Thank you for that. Thank you for posting that, John. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's crazy. All right, let's see if we can just play this. We'll go back to that in a second. Yeah, you gotta put the Konami code in to take off. That's funny.
이번 일을 시작으로 우리는 FM을 누르고 브레인시티의 제1 세력으로 부상하게 될 것이다. 따라서 이번 일은 우리에게 조직의 흥망이 걸린 일이야. 자, 우리의 신을 위해, 우리를 무시했던 놈들에 대한 복수를 위해 모두 일어서자.
The art style in this game is weird looking. We're not going to play this very much. I just want to kind of show you what it looks like. Okay, dude. Yeah, thanks for coming, John. I appreciate it, man. I won't be on too much longer anyway. So this kind of is like a isometric strategy game. It's kind of similar to Syndicate in some ways, but it's also just kind of your standard like isometric strategy type game too. Hey, what's up, dude? Herb Wars, how's it going? I'm just checking out some 3DO stuff. Some 3DO games I hadn't really played too much before. Been burning games past few days. I think you kind of get the gist of how this works. Like I said, I'm not really going to play too much of it. Just want to kind of show it to you. Lurking it, you're doing the work lurk. The work lurk. All right. Anyway, you get the idea here. I'm gonna try those flight controls that John was telling us about. He sent us that link for flying nightmares. Let's see if we can figure that out. One last try. Oh, Diablo 2. Hell yeah, dude. Okay. To take off, you have to press up and L. While the appeared inscription does not appear, you cannot take off. Therefore, press R and B. So R and B, and then up and L. Okay. All right, it's loading right now. Okay, here we go. So R and B, up and L. Oh, look, I'm going. Warning, brakes on. Okay, there we go. I'm flying. It's working. Yay, I'm flying. Think of a wonderful thought, any happy little thought. Well, I don't know what to do now, but at least I'm flying. Because I didn't think I would get this far. Figured out how to use weapons. I just find something to shoot at. That was the voice of an angel. Oh look, there's an island or something. Let's head over there and blow up something on it. Yeah, look at that. I mean, this is not exactly ace combat, you know, or air combat, but it could be a lot worse. The animation's pretty decent for a flight game. Polygonal flight game from this period. I used to have Chuck Yeager's Advanced Flight Simulator for the Apple IIe. Me and my brother played the crap out of that. We also had a game called Infiltrator. Have you ever played Infiltrator? It had like a flight mode to it. It also had like a adventure ground mode, kind of like Metal Gear. Similar to Metal Gear in some ways. Once upon a time. Back in the second controller, do Konami code simultaneously. Yes. Firing everything I have. See if I can blow something up. Uh-oh, I'm gonna crash. Oh, that was close. Uh-oh, missile in the air. Danger, danger. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash. Yeah, I crashed. Yeah. Ah, crap. Oh well. We fought the good fight. Damn it. Look at those stats. Can you beat my high score? Is that possible? All right. Well, at least we flew. That's more than I was getting before. So that's progress. You had B-17 Flying Fortress. Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. There's quite a few good games on here that I could play. Been going for a while here, but we can do one more game before I go. You have any requests? Any 3DO game you want some footage of, want to check out a little bit before I go? I don't have the Horde burned. I don't have that one burned, so I can't do that one. Star Control 2 is on here. That's pretty nice. Blade Force. What is Blade Force? I don't remember. Gex? Gex is a good game, but it's like one of those games that everybody plays when they play 3DO stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, Street Fighter's pretty good. That's another one that's really good on the 3DO. Star Control? Okay. We'll do Star Control, because that's not very common. I actually just burned it. I have not played it. We'll check it out a little bit. I know, right? I know exactly what you mean, Luke. Nobody really knows what games are on here. I'm going to read you a list. I'm just going to go through. I keep all my 3DO games in this little case because I burn all my games. So I'll tell you all the games that I have burned right now, just to tell you. So we looked at some RPGs earlier. Lucian's Quest was probably the most J of the JRPGs we looked at. The other RPG was called, what was it called? Guardian War. Guardian War. So Lucian's Quest and Guardian War, two really good ones. If you like RPGs. Do one of these for Sega CD. I can recommend games all night. Okay, we'll do Sega CD. I don't have enough Sega CDs burned. I have some, but I definitely need some advice on what Sega CD games I need to get. So, anyway, yeah, there is a Star Wars game. Okay. That is Rebel Assault. It says Rebel Assault. The first one. The FMV one. Also, there's John Madden, which is really good. There's a good version of Madden on here. It was the first, what I would consider true next-gen Madden game. There's a game called PO'd. I'm sure you heard of that one. Off-World Interceptor.
was losing.
Death Keep, Gex, like you were talking about earlier. Alone in the Dark and Alone in the Dark 2.
Then,
Plumbers Don't Wear Ties, we all talked about that one.
amazing discovery was
Iron Angels of Apocalypse.
the surface of an
Ultraman. Shockwave and Shockwave 2.
underground city
Starfighter,
filled with the technological
which is not Star Wars, but it is a spaceship game.
powerful race.
Wile Country Club Golf. Battle Chess, that's pretty cool. Battle Chess.
Through the nearby stars,
PGA Tour Golf
stranding our
96.
scientific team here.
Return Fire.
20 years
Road Rash, which is, you know, amazing. And Need for Speed. Both of those are really great. Those are the two best racing games on here, I think.
a factory for
Primal Rage. Pretty cool version of Primal Rage, although the frame rate's not nearly as good as the Saturn version.
skeleton of one
Wolfenstein. Very good version of Wolfenstein.
because you must
Crash and Burn. You know what that is. Mega Race. There's another one. I think that was one that came with the 3DO. John's always talking about that one. Total Eclipse. Oh, here's a good one. Slam and Jam. Really cool 3D looking basketball game. John introduced me to that one I didn't even know about. The Daldis Encounter, which is the one with Tia Carrera. That one's pretty cool. That one's 4 discs. Star Wars Rebel Assault. Stellar 7. Space Hulk. It's another one of those first-person kind of games. Samurai Showdown. Unfortunately, not really the best port of Samurai Showdown. It looks great. It just, the animation's not very good.
Is the source of my
Alone in the Dark, that would be... Oh, yeah, Alone in the Dark's interesting. Sewer Shark. You ever play Sewer Shark on Sega CD? Well, Sewer Shark is also on 3DO, and it looks way, way better on 3DO. It's pretty interesting. Doom, and there is there's a hacked version of Doom for the 3DO that has been worked on quite a bit. It's called OptiDoom. OptiDoom is slightly optimized, and it has some options that let you choose different things, like your resolution and different rendering options and stuff. It's pretty cool. Super Wing Commander. Pretty cool version of Wing Commander. It's like the original Wing Commander, but they beefed it up a little bit. Starblade, that's that on-rail shooter. Autobahn Tokyo. That's a racing game. Haven't played it too much. Way of the Warrior. You know what that is. That's like that high-resolution Mortal Kombat looking kind of game, although not nearly as good as Mortal Kombat. Battle Pinball. I don't even know if I played that. Battle Pinball. Balls, the director's cut. BALLZ, Balls. That's pretty cool. It's a kind of 3D looking fighting game where your characters are made up of those balls. Not those kind of balls. You know what I'm talking about. Blade Force. I don't even remember what that is. Syndicate. A very, very good version of Syndicate. Better than the Jaguar version. A game called Dr. Hanser, which is I think it's made by the same people that made Alone in the Dark. It's very, very similar to Alone in the Dark. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. You know what that is. Battle Blues, Guardian War. We already looked at those. Flashback. And there's Out of This World and Flashback on here. Siberia. Dragon's Lair. I'm sure you've all seen Dragon's Lair many, many times. Very good version on the 3DO. BC Racers. Terrible version of BC Racers. Sorry, it's just not that good. D. 2-disc version of D. Of course, that's on PlayStation and Saturn. Do you want the D? Do you want the D? Nova Storm, another one of those on-rail shooters. Foes of Ali. It's a boxing game, which I don't know how to play. I tried to play it and I couldn't figure it out. And then the other games that we looked at, Killing Time, Slayer, Flying Nightmares, and Lemmings. That's all the ones that I have burned. That's a pretty significant list of games. There's more, but that's all the ones that I have burned. So I got to burn the Horde and a few other ones. Yes, 3DO does have balls and the D. That is correct. Which would you prefer, the balls or the D, Luke? You got to tell me, because I don't want to assume.
But then, far across space, an amazing discovery was made, deep beneath the surface of an alien world.
3DO is pretty cool. I think the one downside about playing 3DO games and capturing them like this is that unless you have a very specific model from Japan, the 3DOs in the United States output an interlaced signal instead of a 240p signal. So sometimes the graphics can be a little weird. They look great on the TV. Like I have my CRT in here hooked up. It looks amazing on the CRT. I think it looks okay being captured, but sometimes the graphics can look a little funny because of the interlacing. You usually get the shaft. Well, if you're lucky.
And return to Earth. And if the war with the Orquan still rages, fight for Earth and the Alliance.
Strange graphics in this game. Super Melee. Well, that's weird. Let's see what Super Melee is. Cyborgs, good cyborgs, awesome cyborgs. Oh, let's see. Let's see how that goes. Let the computer fight itself. Star Control 2. Pretty awesome. Edie Pace, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to be wrapping this up here in just a second. Just wanted to take a look at this real quick. Maybe next time we'll do some Jaguar, Atari Jaguar. I haven't done any Jag stuff since I started the channel back up. At least not that I remember anyway. Kind of interesting. You can just pit these different ships against each other and just watch them fight. Do CDI? I don't own a CDI, Luke. I can't do CDI. Sorry. That's a console I never had any desire to buy. It's barely a video game console. Do you remember, I don't know if you remember this, Luke, but they used to run infomercials in the middle of the night on like USA Network and different channels for the CDI. They when it was out, when they were trying to sell that system, they used to run these like 30-minute long infomercials that were, it was like desperately trying to sell that thing, and nobody bought the CDI. Like, it was crazy. It has Mario and Zelda. It does. It does. It has things that have those names, Mario and Zelda. That's true. They're not good. They're not good. But they do have those names. I used to watch the USA Up All Night. USA Up All Night with Rhonda Shear. And then with Gilbert Godfrey. I remember that's what it was called. That's where I watched Toxic Avenger. Hell yeah. Dude, they had the stupidest movies, but the best stupid movies on USA Up All Night. I loved it. Yeah, I used to love watching Up All Night. And then that Elvira chick, she had like a thing where she would host and put on all these old like horror movies and stuff. It was good stuff. Mystery Science Theater 2000 or 3000 or whatever it was called. 3000, I guess. Good times, man. Good times. Yeah. That Elvira lady, man. I don't know what her name is, but she held it together. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember when they used to have these shows that would come on. They had a TV version of Nightmare on Elm Street called Freddy's Nightmares, and it was hosted by Robert Englund. And it was like all these like episodes of this show that had absolutely nothing to do with Nightmare on Elm Street, but it was called Freddy's Nightmares, and they would have these little video segments where Robert Englund would come on and just act goofy. It was really funny. And then it was just some random like nonsensical show with characters and actors you never heard of and were not related to anything, just these random episodes. And then they had one that was Friday the 13th, and it was not Friday the 13th in any way related to Jason. It was just this other Friday the 13th. And that one was more of a serial show where they had like the same characters, you know? I don't remember anything about it. I just thought it was funny that they would have a show. It was weird how sometimes there would be a show that would be named something and not be what you know. I was like, how did they get away with that? You know, I don't know. Very strange. Yeah, Friday the 13th, the series. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. That shop owner sold his soul to the devil and his soul. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, these shows. All right, I'm gonna stop. I've been going for quite a while here. So yeah, maybe next time we'll do some Atari Jaguar. Some Atari Jaguar gaming. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Everybody that was here, if you're watching this later, thank you for being here. Anybody that was watching and didn't comment, I appreciate you being here. You don't ever have to comment, but I do appreciate just hanging out and talking with people. So Luke's Awakening, of course, thank you, sir. Eating Paste, you know, good luck with the munching on paste. John Retro Bro, thank you so much for introducing me to the 3DO. I mean, I knew about it and everything, obviously, you know, obviously, but thank you for convincing me to get into the 3DO. I appreciate that. Quizzicoodle, I don't know. I never can say his name right. Fonzarelli, Fonz Gaming, thank you, sir. Always love talking with you and hanging out with you. Good man. As always. Anybody else? Albert Menendez was here for a little while. Thank you for hanging out, Albert. Much appreciated. I'm probably missing somebody in this. Sorry about that. So yeah, if I didn't see you, sorry, but thank you for being here. I'll try to catch up again next time. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. Hopefully enjoyed some of the 3DO stuff. I gotta go, but I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.